Honourable Deputy Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Assistant Speaker, for giving me permission to speak on the floor today. I'd like to say thank you to all members of Parliament who have sat through this afternoon. This is our primary role, sitting in Parliament and making laws quite rightfully and aptly, as the Opposition Deputy Leader pointed out. Thank you, Trulo. I also note the discussions and take this time to join in the debate on law and order, which remains one of our biggest hindrances to development and remains one of the biggest crux of our problems in Papua New Guinea. I take note of all the suggestions that have been suggested by our good governors and members who have debated this earlier. Law and order is a big issue. It's an issue that's been culminated over a lot of years. It's not just yesterday. And we will still be facing this. We are a developing nation. It will still continue. But we have to start to arrest this problem. And some of the issues that we are doing now under our government, which I'd like to point out, under the leadership of a good internal security minister, some of the issues that we have tried to address is sorting out the police force. The good Prime Minister has met with all the Assistant Commissioners and Deputy Commissioners in the last week personally. I have met with all the PPCs yesterday personally and told them exactly what we expected of them. The breakdown in the law and order has culminated over a lot of years because of a lot of situations, partly due to funding. Past previous governments had not adequately resourced the police force, the CIS, and the justice system. That has led to a breakdown of a lot of things. Within the police force itself, to get a complete cycle of conviction, you need, from the start, the police force to make arrest. Once they do the arrest, then you need successful prosecution. We do not have adequate skilled prosecutors or sufficient prosecutors to the point where they can get prosecution. I'm hard looks in prosecution. Sometimes paperwork or something, you know, go straight. Or magistrate rouse him no technical errors. So we need to have and make sense this law prosecution. It must be upskilled and done properly. And then time blow, write his statement. Time blow work him conviction. Policeman work him must be adequately trained to provide him this whole statement of facts belongan. Provide him all evidence so he can get a successful conviction. Plenty of policeman all pursue him this latu. Time you see him successful conviction, ibagolo handblow CIS. CIS or mangola house karabus or kalab guaraset. It takes 2 years, 6 months before they get to the conviction stage. We need to reinforce our magistrate services. It was quite disappointing when the Chief Magistrate presented his case to us at MEC, which we invited him to, because it is a very important sector, not just the police. So time we ask him to come, we realized, this government realized that out of the whole of last year and this year, the magistrate services got for goods and services only 3.6 million kina. That is ridiculous. So we as government have decided now to ramp up that funding for the magistrate services. We have actually doubled the budget from this year so that they can complement the sector from the whole law and order perspective. Taiman arresting, police arresting pinis, and by golo magistrate, by working on conviction. You need to adequately resource them. They cannot go around looking for staplers and papers na kind something or something. Policeman to not go around begging the fuel na kind of something. So you will be pleasantly surprised, and I ask for all your support when we sit down next week, Tuesday, for Parliament session to present the budget, that you may support in this law and order sector. Police must get a big slice of funds. That is the start of a 4-year program. Start belong the next year budget. The following year, we'll put the same amount of money. The following year, the same amount for 4 years until we address these issues. Recruitment. You may have no longer more recruitment, nothing. Man sliding lo dua na kind of say come inside. Recruitment will be now outsourced, so we get the best candidate to become police officers. Their uniforms, should be standardized and have them adequately in stock. The police refleeting program will start so we get rid of all the hire cars. That costs us a lot of money every day. All these things are being put in place so that the onus is now on the police force to make certain they do what we need as government. Planting man talk law, government, Prime Minister, you're going to arrest him man law. 6 Mile, one the bush knife. I'm no work blame your politicians. Work blame the work him law, give him money, work blame all the work him work. But we cannot continuously blame them. They need resourcing. And now we as parliamentarians and as politicians have done what we are supposed to do. There are adequate laws. We are now providing the budget for that. That budget will be reciprocated when you see it on Tuesday. You may give him money, law, work and work, so that they will have no excuse but to carry out what the mandated roles are. All must work and work, blong all. As quite rightfully, Governor of the Western Islands pointed him out. We have adequate laws. All man talk, Karim Busnaib Najisla. He got laws under the Summary Offences Act for carrying an offensive weapon in a public place. You can karabos up to 6 months or be fined. That is done. But no one goes and does footbeat patrols and arrest him, all man. That has been passed on to the police hierarchy to ensure they do their job. And they have cooperated, and they said, yes, we realize it, we'll work together with government to ensure this is done. So now Mipla need him to put in budget. Because time you arrest him one man, you know blogoli unblamed us all. You need a file this thick, 20 or 30 papers to ensure he gets a successful conviction. Without those successful evidence, statement of facts, or something go inside, you will not get a successful conviction. Our magistrates can't travel to remote Minyamia or go to Kabum or Wasu because they don't have the logistics. Now, this government, you may put in money so that they can travel to remote Minyama, they can travel to remote Wasu and carry out the circuit so they can convict people. Then you may put him all go inside the CIS. Then you must put him, Banis Wayasa can all him all man go inside good. Rehabilitation programs can all him all good. House blow CIS officers a training blow. Next year, we will start training 500 brand new policemen. And not just people off the streets, properly selected, outsourced the training, na all bakamna, start learn. The officer corps will be starting to be outsourced too. Direct from university, you mix him all officer corps so that all can come inside and start in a 3-year training program to upskill and manage our police force. The good police minister, our internal security minister, under the direction of the Prime Minister, has gone ahead to talk to our donor partners, outside partners, to try to help us in the backroom work. The backroom work meaning upskilling and training our prosecutors properly, upskilling and training our forensics people properly, upskilling and training our communication specialists properly, upskilling and training or line the CID properly. Because right now, you go to CID office, no one wants to do any work anymore. We lack proper CID. We lack proper prosecutors. These need to be upskilled and trained and resourced properly. So we as government now, law is start. Law is start. We have made those laws. Yes, we will amend some laws to make sense that the penalties for wire katapel, Karim Busnaib, public place, instead of 6 months, it must go to 1 year or 2 years number. You Karim Busnaib around the town, you know what got in the town. Karim Busnaib logo one Sunday around the town. The job of the policeman is to stop and search them in public places like Boroko, public places like Gordon's. And no work blame your politician. We do the laws and we adequately resource them. So I can assure you, gentlemen, that this government, our government, has placed priority on law and order, and we are directly behind our internal security minister to ensure this happens. Mila assure him, Yupla. And it is not just a police force. It is a CIS. It is a holistic approach. Igo kama finish one day on magistral services. We have personally made certain the magistral services have come and pointed out their plight to us at Ministerial Economic Committee. So that Mipla put him, all this is something go inside, like adequately resource him all too. The plan is something, it won't take 1 year to fix it. And but taking 4 years of consistency, 4 years of proper funding and allocation, properly trained men. Tapos you walk in this line now, and by him. And then we need to adequately have our people resourced with economic opportunities. Planti disla now by you looking to reflect the budget, the agriculture sector, the land development sector. Planti man by asking, why are we putting money in land development? Land development, we have only 3% of land is alienated land. We need to, where do we put all these agricultural plantations or oil palm or something? But you go out, partner one time or line blimilo place, acquire them and expand the alienated land program, and also partner with the people to extend our agricultural allotments. I give you some figures. Right now, I sympathize with Governor Pakop. He has the same problems I have in Leh. Our cities have grown, population migration come inside the town. Not one new suburb has been built since 1975 or 1980. We need to house our people properly. How do we do that? We need to expand our boundaries, build brand new suburbs. Taimi put your money go inside Ladisla will partner with our good governor and our other cities and our other towns, like in Western Highlands, Hagen. Ground logera town am short finish. If we build one suburb of 10,000 allotments, planting mantok by ground nothing. The rate on investment, the return on investment on that will be roughly power, water, and land rates. Land rates you'll probably get within 1 year, land rates for 10,000 allotments, you will make 5 million kina come back to government in land rates. You'll make 12 million roughly for water rates that comes back to our SOEs. You will roughly make 20 million. It come back, lo power, wara, nograsan, totaling nearly 40 million for 10,000 allotments in one brand new suburb. So Taimi spending money go, we will also make a return on investment and at the same time adequately house our people. The same thing will go for agriculture allotments, expand and build on oil palm. We have had good discussions with Governor Bird and a few of our other governors who are pushing for oil palm expansion. So you may put in oil palm, people need security of land tenure. Time you got security of land tenure, good Minister Maru can bring in developers. All come on go sinano custom ground. Custom ground got plenty at pen. So you must give him all this security of tenure along all. So you give him security of tenure along all man become na build him all something. We provide the land, they build infrastructure, they expand it. If we have 10,000 allotments or 10,000 hectares available, that means 10,000 of our citizens will have an income of average 50,000 kina per annum, similar to West New Britain, Biala na Dislo Lap number. So that is what the focus of government will be moving forward. Next year, I'll address him. Gentlemen and ladies of this esteemed house, it is not an easy task that we will be faced with in our legal work. We are making up for the last 30 to 40 years that we have to fix. But who else will fix it? For the next 4 years, let us hold hands, work together, and try and fix in place for you. No got napla man or napla place for fix in place for you. So, gentlemen and ladies, law and order remains one of our biggest priorities, and please support government. I, unfortunately, will not be here next week Tuesday, as the Prime Minister has asked me to represent him on an overseas trip, so regretfully will not be here. But I take this opportunity to implore you to support this budget next year, especially next week, so that we can have a good law and order something, fixing plenty of issues you may got long now. You know, easy plan of fixing. We also have education. We have also focused on education, TVET. We are putting money into these sectors now so that we can train our young people to become better citizens. Plenty man talk plenty law, program law, treasurer law you me. Lo salim ol mango lo Australia lo work. Yes, you me salim ol mango, you must also think. All but salim forex come inside lo year. One plab you me go lo outside lo country. Empa sali 10 or 20,000 come back lo country papa mama bli me. Plenty bli me sa go around on nabla country body also all the time carry come back lo place. You mean sa plan lo nabla place. Em custom bli me. So let us be like the Filipinos. One of the biggest exports is the human resources, and most of that money goes back to develop the country. One kind you can work him. You make some skill set, attitude change, you may carry come back to place now, it can also fix some of our issues here. The first time I went to Australia was when I was age 24. Me go down, and it comes with a sage attitude change. Passing blue me lo troma rabis nothing arrested lo window. Me go down, me just kaka this like MPG finish, me throw my rubbish go out the window. I thought it was normal because I throw rubbish out the window here every day. The person with me nearly slapped me and said, "Why are you throwing rubbish out the window?" From that day on, I never threw rubbish out the window again. So now I talk online, no can throw my PP go outside the window. It is an attitude change. Time will expose you, me lol napla attitude, lol napla mantu upside. Plenty online blame settlements, na kind of Sam, online talk, law and other issues. And I don't blame our young people. Growing up in urban cities like Ley and Port Moresby, Madang, Wewak, plenty talk, miblo disla place. Also say miblo civic, or miblo wabek, or miblo simbu. Papa mama you carry more insal disla urban areas, yeah. Plenty blol. Inu sa gulo place, ono sa lo talk place, ono sa lo custom work. It is our own fault. So kind of the opposition leader talk, family values, we need to strengthen it. You mean strengthening more family values, believe me, and want to big plus something. But at the same time, the breakdown of law and order, now something, because time you stop lo house man, or papa talk you how lo you got stringent laws you may apply in no place. Time you come stop inside lo urban centers, these things fail now, and two come up, na problem can come up in lo urban centers. So these things must be taught in our schools, taught in our education systems, taught in our compulsory cadet programs. Those must be done. And you will also note that in our budget next week when it comes down. Pandai Islam talk. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Lo this afternoon, lo presence. Thank you, true.